Good morning, beloved family. Good morning and welcome. Live from Archershaw Temple in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, we welcome you to the Merkaba Temple online service. Whether you're joining us on Zoom, watching on YouTube, listening to the podcast, or stepping into this space for the very first time, know this: you are already included, you are already held, and you are already part of this field. This is a space of devotion without pressure, a space where nothing is demanded of you and nothing essential is withheld. You don't need to arrive calm. You don't need to arrive clear. You don't need to arrive steady or spiritually prepared. You only need to arrive honest.
We would like to offer a warm welcome to every soul returning to this space today. And if this is your first time, truly welcome home. Wherever you are in the world and wherever you are within yourself, we are grateful you are here. Merkaba Temple exists for one purpose: to hold a field of safety, coherence, and quiet truth where the nervous system can settle and the soul can speak without interruption. Here, nothing is rushed, nothing is forced, and nothing is expected. We move slowly enough for the body to trust again. We listen deeply enough for what is real to emerge. And we honor the timing of each heart without pressure, without performance, and without pretending.
And before we move further, I would like to name something gently and without drama. Many of us can feel that the collective field is very tender right now. Not because of headlines we're going to discuss, we won't, but because the nervous system of a nation is stirred. You can feel it in the air, you can feel it in the heart, and you can feel it in the body. Moments like this can make people afraid, reactive, divided, and unsure of what tomorrow brings. But hear this clearly. This is not a moment for collapse. This is a moment for coherence. This is not a moment to polarize, but to root. This is not a moment to fight the shadows, but to become the light that cannot be shaken. So as you arrive today, whatever you are carrying, fear, grief, uncertainty, anger, numbness, let it be here without judgment. We are not here to escape the world. We're here to become steadier in it. Today, we practice being the calm in the waves, the presence that steadies the field, and the heart that stays human when the world feels inhuman. We belong to each other. We breathe together. We heal together. And today, we return together to what is real, to what is human, and to what is shared.
Today's teaching is one the world deeply needs right now. It is entitled The Return to Shared Reality: Coherence, Trust, and the Courage to Listen. Not the performance of unity, not agreement for the sake of comfort, not bypassing or fragile positivity, but the real work, the inner coherence that steadies the nervous system, and the trust that rebuilds human connection, and the courage to listen when listening is the hardest thing to do. This is not a teaching of theory, it is a teaching of practice, something you can use today, this week, and in the conversations that shape your life.
So as we move together this morning, we invite you to stay close to your breath, your body, and your own signals. At any moment, you may soften your gaze, close your eyes, place a hand on your heart or your belly, and let yourself receive without effort. Let this space be where you don't have to defend anything, where you don't have to brace, and where you don't have to be the strong one. Let this space be a space where clarity returns simply because you stopped running from yourself.
Merkaba Temple is an inter-spiritual sanctuary. You are welcome here whether you walk with Christ, Krishna, Buddha, Shiva, the Divine Mother, or the Earth, or your ancestors, or simply the quiet intelligence within your own heart. What matters here is not belief, not dogma, not labels. What matters is the integrity of your attention and the sincerity of your presence. So as we begin, we invite you into a posture the world rarely asks of you. Not consumption, not urgency, not performance, but presence. Only presence.
Beloved family, here's what's rising in the temple. First, our spring equinox Merkaba retreats immersion is quickly approaching March 9th through 15th here in Puerto Vallarta in our new Om Zone sanctuary. We have only 3 spots left, so please, if you're interested and you feel the alignment toward a clean beginning, or maybe toward time to actually listen to yourself, this is your moment. You can schedule your free retreat call with us today by going to archershaw.guru/book online. I mean, what are you waiting for? Take the next step if you feel the call.
And second, we are excited to share that a new podcast is rising. It's called Archer Temple, The Lived Path, Conversations from the Inside. These are honest, grounded conversations between Christopher, myself, and sometimes chosen guests about sovereignty, embodiment, union, recovery, sexuality, leadership, and what actually looks like to walk this path in real life. If you have ideas or topics you would like for us to discuss, please send us an email at archershaw@merkabachurch.com. And check out archershaw.guru/listen for our podcast links.
And thirdly, I would love to highlight my newest on-demand workshop that is so good. I love it. It's called Sacred Sexuality, Reclaiming Life Force, Presence, and Power. It's a 2-hour, 5-module workshop that you can begin anytime. It's totally on demand. Most people, they think sexuality is about performance or technique, but underneath all of that is something deeper, life force. Sexuality is one of the most intelligent energies in the human system, and also one of the most misunderstood. Sorry. So this workshop is grounded, non-explicit, and invitational. It's about presence, it's about regulation, and about the way awareness meets sensation. It applies whether you're single or partnered, sexually active or not, because it's really about how alive you are in your own body. So check it out, archershaw.guru/sacred sexuality workshop, and you can get all the details there and the link to our workshop platform on Lumara. I would love to have you join me.
Now, before we begin, we want to pause and speak clearly about participation, especially for those who may need to step out early. Merkaba Temple is a living community. There are no paid staff. This space exists because those who receive from it help sustain it. If these services support you, if they steady you, if they bring you home to yourself, we invite you to participate now. If your phone is nearby, you're welcome to take it out. You can find us on Venmo at Merkaba Temple, or you can participate through the website at www.merkabatemple.com/donate. Give whatever amount feels aligned. Participation matters more than the amount. Thank you, family, for helping hold this temple space.
I sent some good money today.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for walking with us. You are not just attending a service, you're helping build a living temple. And with that, let's move on into presence, into coherence, and into alignment.
And now let us formally open the energetic gateway of today's service with the Adi mantra. The Adi mantra is the mantra of humble invocation and surrender. It means I bow to the infinite wisdom, the divine teacher within and without, the great guru that lives in all beings. Let this mantra awaken the remembrance that Guru is guiding every heartbeat, every breath, every unfolding step of this journey. We take 3 deep breaths, and on the 4th breath, we sing Ong Namo Gurudev Namo together 3 times. If you know it, join us. And if you're just now learning it, feel free to listen and join in when you feel comfortable. So we begin by rubbing our hands together, activating the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Now bringing our thumbs to the sternum to heart center, taking a deep breath in and release. Arriving, taking another deep breath in and release. Here and now. Another deep breath in and release. Receive the breath to begin. Om Namo Gurudev again. Deep breath in. One more time. Divine light, in us, through us, and all around us this morning, we bring the truth of our humanity into this space. The exhaustion, the fear, the numbness, the uncertainty, the part of us that's been trying to hold too much. We don't hide any of it from you. We ask for one thing today, the grace to return to what is real. Soften the places in us that have been bracing. Quiet the places that have been overwhelmed. And steady the places that have forgotten what it feels like to breathe. Bring us back into our bodies, back into the present moment, back into the part of us that remembers how to listen. May this temple be a space where no one has to choose a side, where no one has to perform, where no one has to pretend they aren't okay if they're not. May this be a space where truth and compassion sit side by side, where honesty is welcome, where humility is strength, where connection becomes possible again. Bless every person here and every person watching from afar. Bless every nervous system that feels stretched thin. Bless every heart longing to feel safe. And bless every mind trying to make sense of a loud world. Help us return to coherence. Help us rebuild trust. Help us practice the courage to listen. Meet us in the quiet. Meet us in the breath. Meet us in the simple truth of being here together. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Guru Om. Amen. Aho. Ashe. And so it is. And Christopher will now lead us into today's mantra.
Thank you. Today's mantra is Soham Shivo'ham. It means I am that, I am this breath, I am here, I am the capital S self, and I am the presence beneath the noise. This isn't about performance and it's not about singing well. It's about returning to our breath, returning to coherence, and returning to the truth that you are so much more than the world's noise. You are more than the division, and you are more than the fear. So wherever you are, soften your shoulders, feel your feet on the ground, and let the music carry you. Here we go.
Soham Shivo'ham Soham Shivo'ham Soham Shivo'ham Soham Shivo'ham Soham Shivo'ham Shivo'ham Soham, Shivo'ham, 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 Soham, Shivo'ham.
Beloved family, let's stay with a vibration. Feeling the quiet, feeling the steadiness, and feeling how the body settles when we return to ourselves. From this place of presence, we open now to our weekly channeled transmission from Guru Nityananda of Ganeshpuri. These transmissions are not here to be analyzed or evaluated, and they're not here to convince you of anything. They're here to remind all of us, to remind you, to the part of you that already knows, already listens, and already trusts. So we soften, we breathe, and we let the words land where they land, in the body, in the breath, and in the quiet space beneath thought. Jacob will deliver today's transmission. Jacob.
Thank you, brethren. Children, listen. When the mind becomes loud, when the world becomes heavy, sit down inside yourself. Sit down where the noise cannot reach. The world shouts and pulls and divides, but the self does not shout. The self does not push. The self does not divide. The self is stillness. The self is trust. The self is the quiet truth that does not change. You become confused when you try to carry too much. You become afraid when you forget the ground beneath your feet. You become divided when you let the world decide who you are. Come back. Not to an idea, not to a position, not to a side, but to your breath, to your body, to the heart that knows what is real. When you breathe with awareness, you return to your own reality. When you return to your own reality, you stop fighting shadows. When you stop fighting shadows, trust begins to grow again. Do not try to fix the world while you are trembling. Do not try to connect with others, correct others, while you are disconnected. Do not try to speak truth while your breath is shallow. First, become steady. Then, the world becomes clear. Coherence is not a luxury. It is your doorway to God. Trust is not a reward. It is the fragrance of a quiet mind. Listening is not weakness. It is the highest discipline. Children, if you want peace in the world, begin with peace in your breath. If you want clarity in your relationships, begin with clarity inside your chest. If you want truth to return, become truthful with your own heart. Sit down inside yourself, and you will see that nothing real is lost. Nothing true is threatened. Nothing essential can be taken from you. Return, again and again, to the place within you that does not shake. From that place, you can hear each other. From that place, you can love again. From that place, shared reality, return. Om Guru Om, Jai Guru.
Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.
Jai Guru, indeed. So let's take one breath together. Letting those words settle where they need to. And from this softened place, we move now into song. Roy, lead us into the music.
Happiness hit her like a train on a track, coming towards her, stuck still, no turning back. She hid behind corners and she hid under beds. She killed it with kisses, and from it she fled. With every bubble she sank with her drink and washed it away down the kitchen sink. The dog days are over. The dog days are done. The horses are coming, so you better run. Run fast for your mother, run fast for your father. Run for your children, for your sisters and brothers. Leave all your love and your longing behind. You can't carry it with you if you want to survive. The dog days are over. The dog days are done. Can you hear the horses? 'Cause here they come. And I never wanted anything from you except everything you had and what was left after that too. Oh, happiness hit her like a bullet in the back. Struck from a great height by someone who should know better than that. The dog days are over. The dog days are done. Can you hear the horses? 'Cause here they come. Run fast for your mother, run fast for your father. Run for your children, for your sisters and brothers. Leave all your love and your longing behind. You can't carry it with you if you want to survive. The dog days are over. The dog days are done. Can you hear the horses? 'Cause here they come. Here they come. Dog days are over. The dog days are done. Horses are coming, so you better run.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you so
This
much.
is amazing. I have all her albums.
I love it. I love it. Oh, thank you for bringing that energy and
Yeah.
lift in the room. All right, everybody. We are going to shift. We've shared the field, we've opened our hearts, and now we turn toward the center of today's service. This morning's teaching is an important one, timely, grounded, and deeply human. So, with your attention here and your presence with us, please welcome my beloved Aeon as he guides us into today's message, the return to shared reality, coherence, trust, and the courage to listen.
Thank you. Thank you. Exciting. Definitely a timely message because it can feel a lot like we're all living in different realities lately. Good morning. And, as we like to do here in Merkaba Temple, let us all just take one more deep breath together. Deep inhale through the nose. And an even longer exhale, arriving fully here and now in this reality that we are currently sharing together in this space. And whether you're here every week, once again, or it's your first time, or you're watching on YouTube and you're not sure what you believe anymore, welcome. You certainly belong here. I want to name something that I think many of us are feeling right now, and that is exhaustion. Not just tired, exhausted. Exhausted from holding fear for the state of the world. Exhausted from wondering if we're going to be okay. Exhausted from financial insecurity or uncertainty. Exhausted from the constant input from every single direction. And for some of us, that exhaustion turns into numbness. Like we can't feel the full weight of everything, so our system tries to protect us by going quiet. And when people are exhausted and afraid, what do you think happens? It gets harder to trust. It gets harder to connect with each other. It gets harder to listen. Because when our nervous system is overwhelmed, everything starts to feel like a threat. So this morning, I want to offer you a path back. Not a debate, not a reaction, but a path back to a shared reality through coherence, trust, and the courage to listen. And now I would like to start here. And many of us, it's undeniable that we've noticed how divided people are becoming, not just in the public, but in families, in friendships, in group chat threads, in comment sections. It's like the whole relationship, all the relationships are being swallowed by this camp mentality. One camp over here and another camp over there. And when that happens, the story becomes, if you're not with me, you are against me. If you disagree, you are dangerous. If you don't see it my way, you must be asleep. You don't have to look far to see that energy is everywhere. And what really breaks my heart is that so many people don't even know how to have healthy dialogue anymore. They don't know how to stay human with each other. They don't know how to disagree without cutting each other off emotionally. So I want to bring us back to something very simple. The values we are building here today, truth, integrity, connection. And those aren't just slogans, those are disciplines. And they matter most when the world gets loud. So let's begin with coherence. And that's a word that we use a lot around here because coherence is where shared reality really starts. Not out there in this world, but in here, inside ourselves. And coherence is really a simple word. Coherence is when your body, your heart, your mind, and your actions are all moving in the same direction. So I want to say that again. It's when your body, your heart, your mind, and your actions are all moving in the same direction. And coherence is inner alignment. It's when you're not being pulled apart inside yourself anymore. And incoherence is when you're divided. Your body is anxious, but your mouth says, I'm fine. Or your heart is overwhelmed, but your mind keeps scrolling. Or your value is peace, but your habits feed chaos. And I have to make this personal because I know this from the inside. There are times I catch myself doom scrolling. I catch myself letting the constant headlines of doom and collapse shape my nervous system and letting the headlines determine my own inner coherence. And if I'm really honest about it, I kind of can feel it happening when it's happening because my breath gets shallow, my chest and my body tightens, and my mind starts racing to all of these future possibilities of how things can collapse around me and what's going to happen next. What's going to happen to my financial security? What's going to happen to everything that we're building? And I start feeling this subtle panic that says something is wrong and it's getting worse. And then I had this moment where I realized I'm letting my phone decide who I am. I'm letting the feed set my inner weather. I'm letting the noise take me out of my actual life. And in that moment, I have to do something very sacred to me. I have to put the phone down. And it's not always easy, to be honest with you. I have to come back to my reality, back into my present moment, back into what's true right here and right now. Because this is how I best support the world right now, not by living in the constant drama or the constant alarm, but returning to my coherence, holding that field, holding that frequency. Because returning to balance, returning to awareness, because coherent people become stabilizers and incoherent people become amplifiers of the fear we see in the world. And so here's a question I have for you, and I want you to see where it lands this morning. Where have you been letting the world's noise determine your inner state? Where have you been letting your feed decide what kind of day you're allowed to have? And where have you been outsourcing your peace? Now, I want to offer a practice so it's not just the theory, because coherence is not just something you can understand, it's something you have to practice. So wherever you are, I invite you to just soften your shoulders, allow your jaw to relax, wiggle your toes, feel your feet on the ground beneath you. And as we often do, take one slow inhale and an even longer exhale. One more slow inhale and an even longer exhale. And then ask yourself, what is true for me right now? Not the whole story, just right now. And then what is one coherent next step? One simple step. Now, the reason this works is because you're using your mind to engage your body in this present moment and to make a decision. And then you're allowing yourself to land in this, the only way time and the only way we engage with our heart frequency, with our heart field, is in the here and the now. When we experience love, it's in the here and the now. And so when we are doing that breath in that moment, we're engaging all of the aspects of our humanity. And it brings us into coherence and then into right action. Now, I'm going to also share with you something practical that works for me when I'm scattered, or when I feel pulled into fear, when I feel numb. I do what I call is a 15-minute silence reset. I put on some gentle meditation music or some binaural beats, put on my headphones because it can be really loud here in Mexico. I lie down. So there are no distractions, no scrolling, no input of any kind other than the meditation music, and I just reset. But before I do that, I decide one thing that I'm going to do that I will accomplish immediately after the reset. And then when I get up, I do that one thing. So it's simple, it's grounded, it returns me to agency in my life, and it returns me to my life. Because coherence isn't just calm, coherence is clarity plus movement. Coherence is I return and I take the next step. And when we return to coherence, something magical begins to grow. Trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in our relationships, trust in our engagement with our life. And so that brings me to wanting to talk about trust, because a lot of people struggle with trust right now, and rightfully so. And that makes a lot of sense, because fear makes people suspicious. Everyone's out to get me. Exhaustion makes people very cynical. And uncertainty makes people protective. So when you feel financially insecure, you may find yourself bracing. If you feel uncertain about the world, you may start assuming the worst about everything. And when you stop cultivating a relationship, I mean cultivating, because trust is a relationship you can cultivate. When you stop cultivating a relationship with trust, we begin to see other human beings through a lens of threat. And it's not always conscious, but you can notice it in your body. But here's the cost. When trust collapses, connection collapses. When trust collapses, people stop being curious and they start being certain. They start treating disagreements like danger. And the loudest form of this right now is this idea that only my side is awake. Only my side sees reality. Only my side is good. And I'll tell you, that mindset is a spiritual trap because it feels like strength, but it's actually fear disguised as superiority. And if you listen quietly, you can hear the judgment that happens underneath those statements. And I want to say something gently but clearly. Any worldview that requires you to dehumanize other people is not awakening. And any truth that makes you cruel is not truth. Any certainty that destroys connection is not wisdom. Truth, integrity, and connection belong together. If you have truth without connection, you become harsh. If you have connection without truth, you become avoidant. If you have integrity without humility, you become rigid. And so here's a confession I can make to you as your brother. I have been the person who has been absolutely certain when I was scared, certain I was right, certain someone else was wrong, only to learn later that the truth, more times than not, is somewhere in between. And that humility didn't weaken me, it matured me, it softened me. It made me more trustworthy because trust grows where humility lives. Trust grows where people can say, I'm listening. I might not have the full picture. I want truth without losing love. And the fastest way to rebuild trust is the skill we almost never practice in public anymore. Listening. Genuinely, authentically listening. And listening is not a passive exercise. Listening is courageous because listening requires you to stay open, even when your nervous system wants to close. Listening requires you to stay present when your ego wants to win. Listening requires you to stay human when the culture is trying to make you tribal. So here's a question that might sting a little, but in a holy way. When you feel challenged, do you listen to understand? Or do you listen to defend? And here's another. What might change in your life if you stayed curious 5 seconds longer than your certainty? And scripture even gives a very simple instruction that can feel like medicine right now. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and even slower to anger. Quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger. That is coherence. That is trust. That is how we return to a shared reality. Because anger moves quickly, fear moves even faster, and outrage moves like wildfire. Trust moves at the speed of presence, one moment at a time, with clarity. So I want to give you a simple listening vow that you can carry with you into this week. Not as performance, but as discipline. As a way to return. And let these words land. I can pause. I can breathe. I can remain curious. And I can choose what builds life. And this is how shared reality returns. One conversation at a time, one pause at a time, one breath at a time, and one moment of courage at a time. So let me bring all this together. Coherence is how you return to yourself. Trust is how you rebuild the bridge. And listening is how you walk across it. And shared reality doesn't return because everyone agrees. Shared reality returns when people can disagree without becoming enemies. When people can feel fear without spreading fear. When people can be uncertain without becoming cruel. And this is what we're practicing here through trust, through truth, integrity, and connection. Not as an idea, because we can think about these things all day long, but as a way of being. So let me ask you something tender and real. Where have you been pulled into division? Where have you been tempted into only my side is awake energy? And where have you been choosing certainty over connection? No shame, just awareness. Because awareness is where freedom begins. And before we close, I want to send you into this week with a simple assignment, 2 practices. That's it, just 2. First, practice coherence once a day. Do a short reset, 3 slow breaths with longer exhales. And then ask yourself, what is true right now? What is one coherent next step? And then do it. And if you have time, if you can find a way to find 15 minutes in your day for a silent reset, at least once a week, it's a really powerful exercise. I don't think anything in my life would get done if I didn't use it. You lie down, no input, and decide one thing you'll do immediately afterwards, and then do it. And the second task I'd like you to practice this week is listen deeply. That means turning off the rampant thoughts, stop practicing what you're going to say next after the person is speaking, and genuinely listen. One conversation this week. Choose to listen first and not to fix, not to win, but to simply understand. And ask one real question before you offer your view, even if you disagree, especially if you disagree, because listening is how we counter the divisive rhetoric without becoming it. Listening is how we refuse the addiction to outrage. Listening is how we keep our humanity. And if you're watching online and you feel numb or afraid, or if you feel like you're carrying too much, this is your reminder. You don't have to carry the whole world today. You just have to return to what is real, to your breath, to your body, and to the next coherent step. So let us close today's teaching with blessing. Beloved Source, bless every exhausted heart. Bless every nervous system that has been living in overdrive. Bless every person holding fear about the future. Bless every home divided by rhetoric. And bless every family learning how to speak again. May we return to coherence. May we rebuild trust. May we practice the courage to listen. And may we become people of truth, integrity, and connection. And may shared reality return through us, one breath, one pause, one conversation at a time. Om Namah Shivaya, Amen, Aho, Ashe, and so it is. Thank you, family, and thank you for staying with this teaching. Before we move on, let's take a breath and just notice what's happening inside. Deep breath in. Sometimes a teaching doesn't land in the mind first. It lands in the body, in the chest, in the breath, in whatever space softened or opened while you were listening. And rather than push past that, we're going to make space for it. We're going to take a few minutes now to settle, to come back into our bodies and to practice coherence together. Not as an idea, but as an experience. Christopher is going to lead us through a simple meditation to help us bring us back into presence, back into truth, and back into ourselves. So wherever you are, get comfortable and let's move into practice together. Christopher.
Thank you. Thank you, my love. That was beautiful. All right, everyone. Wherever you are, either in this room or joining us from your home, go ahead and settle into a position that feels steady for you. You don't need to sit perfectly, and you don't need to hold any posture. Just get comfortable enough that your body can participate. Letting your eyes soften or close if that feels natural. And we're going to start very simply. Let's start today by just noticing your breath. not correcting it, not judging it, just noticing. Now slowly, without forcing, let your next inhale come through the nose. And when you exhale, let it be just a little bit longer than the inhale. Inhale and exhale a little longer. Letting your shoulders soften a bit, letting the muscles in your face loosen, letting your belly have space to move with your breath. Now bring one hand, whichever feels natural, to your chest and the other to your belly. Feeling the warmth of your own body, feeling the rise and fall. And gently ask yourself, what is true right now? Not the whole story, not the future, not the fear, just right now. And whatever came up, just let it be true for this moment. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to make it pretty. And you don't have to make sense of it. Now ask yourself a second question. What is one coherent next step? Just one, not 10, not all the solutions. Just the next coherent step your body can actually take. Very good. Now feel your feet on the ground, the support underneath you, and feel how life is holding you in this moment. Take a slow inhale, and again a larger, longer exhale. And now we're going to do something very simple. Just 3 breaths together. Slow, coherent, grounding breaths. Inhale slowly through the nose. Exhale. Again, inhale. And exhale. Last one. Inhale. And a long, slow release. And just for a moment, notice if anything shifted. Even 2%, even 0.5%. Maybe your jaw softened, your mind quieted. Maybe there's just a little more space inside your chest. Whatever shifted, honor it. This is coherence, not perfection, not forever peace, just a return. And from this steadier place, we move into the rest of our service. Take one more breath, and when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and come back to this place.
Beautiful. All right, beloved family. Feels nice.
Coherent, yes.
Coherent,
Coherent.
absolutely. I would like to speak honestly for a moment about how this temple is held. Merkaba Temple isn't powered by an organization or a staff or outside funding. It's held the same way everything meaningful in a spiritual community is held, by the people who receive from it and who choose to help sustain it. If this space supports you, if these teachings give you clarity, if this community gives you a place to breathe and return to yourself, then participation is part of how we keep this field coherent. Not out of pressure, not out of obligation, but out of shared care. Participation here doesn't mean equal giving. It means everyone contributing in a way that feels aligned and honest. So if you're able, I invite you to participate now. If your phone is nearby, you're welcome to take it out. You can open Venmo and find us at Merkaba Temple, or you can participate through the temple website at merkabatemple.com/donate. There, you can give once or set up weekly, monthly, or yearly support, whatever matches how this community lives in your life. What sustains this temple is not a few people giving a lot, but many people contributing with intention and coherence. Thank you truly for supporting the space that supports you, and for helping give this temple steady, trustworthy, and alive.
So thank you again. And now, as we bring our service to a close, we're going to end the way we always do, by gathering once again our breath, our intention, and our hearts together in prayer. Divine light, in us, through us, and all around us, we thank you for this time of truth, of coherence, of remembering who we are beneath the noise. Bless every person here. Bless every home represented. Bless every heart that came in today carrying exhaustion, fear, or uncertainty. May what was softened stay soft. May what became clear stay clear. And may what steadied us today continue to steady us in the week ahead. Help us return to ourselves when the world gets loud. Help us choose trust when fear tries to tighten our chests. Help us to practice the courage to listen to each other, to life, and to the quiet wisdom inside our own breath. May we walk through this week with coherence in our bodies, integrity in our choices, and compassion in our relationships. May our presence be a refuge for ourselves and for the people we meet along the way. We seal today's service with gratitude, with truth, and with the simple commitment to live what we learned today. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Guru Om, Amen, Aho, Ashe, and so it is.
Now, let us seal today's service by singing The Longtime Sun and Satnam. The words can be found in the chat. May your long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. May your long time within you. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Do-do-do. Got it right this week. May a long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Satnam, everybody.
Hands
Truth
together.
is your identity.
Prayer pose. Truth is our identity. One more time.
Beloved family, as we complete today's service, we do so gently. There is nothing you need to take with you by force, nothing you need to remember perfectly, and nothing you need to resolve before you walk out the door. What was meant to land has already landed, not as information, but as a quieter way of being inside yourself. If clarity came today, let it settle. If confusion remained, let that be true without judgment. Nothing is behind, nothing is wrong, and nothing essential is missing. Thank you for your presence, thank you for your sincerity, and thank you for helping sustain this temple. Not only through your giving, but through the way you show up to truth, to integrity, and to connection. We offer our gratitude to our Horizon Council, Roy, Jacob, and Perse, and to every one of you who helps hold this field with steadiness and care. If you are able, we invite you to stay for a few moments of fellowship. If you need to go, know that you remain connected, not by proximity, but by the coherence we practice together. So walk in light, walk in love, and remember, we are all one. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Guru Om, Amen, Aho, Ashe, and so it is.
So it is.